Good morning online. All right. Let's kick it off. Good morning, everybody. Clap once if you hear me. Clap twice if you hear me. Hey, there we go. Back in third grade.
1, 2, 3.
All right. Well, hey, let's think about what we like to do every morning with a, let me see if I can do this time, with a, okay. I was given some flack over the graphic last time. So let's start with Brenda. Brenda, why don't you tell me something good?
I closed 6 deals this year. To some of you, that may not be a big deal, but it is to me.
And then who else? Who we got?
I've got one.
All right. You're right next to me. That's easy.
So I don't know if any of you have, most of you, when you go on listing presentations, have a listing booklet. I also have a buyer booklet. If you don't have one, I suggest get one. You can email me or someone can email it to you. But I had one of my lenders meeting with a client yesterday, and the client was like, oh yeah, I have a realtor. And he goes, oh, well, I'm going to try to sway him your way, and shared my booklet with them. And they were like, oh my gosh. And so just because I had a booklet that was organized, they're now talking to me and I stole the client. So just a little tip, if you don't have a buyer booklet, you might want to get one, especially in this market where buyers are like gold. Do what you got to do to be above the rest. But yeah,
There you
so
go. Above the rest. Congratulations for your new client. All right, Jenna, I know you have something.
I got a new signed listing, so I have a upcoming listing in Rockland for $599. They're also offering a $10,000 credit to buyer buy down the rate. It's a 3, 2.5, right by like all that new shopping center like Target, Trader Joe's, like right across the street. 1747 square feet. I go live.
Congratulations. Cindy, do you have anything you want to share?
I just closed a $1.2 million house in the Bay Area, and
Wow.
I learned a lot about selling houses on the water and dock rights and easement, water easement. So it's a big learning lesson to sell a house on the water where there's water rights.
Hey, you got paid while you were learning though.
Yeah, and it wasn't bad. Jared and I took our client out for I think a total of 2 hours and got a $30,000 check. So it wasn't a bad day.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And then my ex-girlfriend over there, Valerie, what do you got?
Now I got a referral from a client, or sorry, from another agent, and closed the client in less than 3 weeks from when he referred me to them. Got him in contact right away and closed in less than 3 weeks.
Not a girl.
What's really cool about that story is that they were previously working with somebody else, and the agent that had referred them to that first agent said they're not doing a good job. They've been shopping for a long time. They can't find what they want, and Valerie had them closed in 3 weeks. So, anyways, yeah. And that lead came from, we've talked about this in the past, Google, right? It was they found us on Google, right? So they read our reviews. So.
I
know Cindy's working on it. All right. Well, do we have a lender in the room to give us our lender update? I can give it. Interest rates are up. Interest rate.
The way to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So close. Go team.
Yeah. And then, so real quick, what's happening in the real estate market? Anybody have any feedback of what they're seeing in the real estate market?
It was interesting. I just went up to SAR. I don't often go to SAR meetings. I go to PCAR just to see what they're doing. They said open houses really aren't working for them up there. They're actually getting more sign calls than they are getting people coming to their open houses. They stopped doing their caravan tours all throughout Sacramento County because it's not popular. They said, yeah, it was very interesting. A gentleman who was there, he's actually a member of CAR too, that he just listed a house And it was the same floor plan, but a 200 square foot smaller than the neighbors that sold in spring. And his sold for $400,000 less than the neighbors. And he was just saying, the values are going down. And because I was talking, I have a client who, thinks they're okay at $1.2 million for this listing. I like it to be under $1 million. But because they are so seen all the houses from spring, and they're like, I mean, if I sold it in spring, they would have got 1.4 for it, but realistically, that's not the market right now. So it's very interesting to see how that county is going compared to Placer County. I think we're doing a little bit better here personally.
We are. So here's something that Brent wanted me to share. Let's see if I can.
Career. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed.
So what that plays directly into what Cindy's saying, right? The market is getting harder. Interest rates. Speaking of interest rates, you got 30 seconds, Ronnie. What's our market update?
30 seconds. All right. We finally got some break on the interest rates. We're down to about 7. We got up to about 7 3/8, so we're moving in the right direction. Yeah, so things are looking good. I still think that we're in a perfect storm for the temporary buy down because rates are being projected to be much substantially lower next year. And so if you take advantage of the lower rate right now, instead of taking, and it provides some stability, right? Looking at it from a 360, the sales you're having today are comp for tomorrow, right? So if you're discounting these properties like 50 grand, 30 grand, that's your comp coming next year, right? So it stabilizes the market a whole lot better by doing the temporary buy down because your buyer's going to win, your seller's going to win, and you'll win because you'll actually get paid more, right? Because the houses go there. So I like that. And then that carries you through until the rates are dropping. Just the key thing to watch for rates, what's going to be the indicator is inflation and retail sales, right? Specifically the retail sales, which are weak already, but the holiday season's coming up. That's 50% of a lot of retailers' business. So the Fed chairman's really keying in on that. And as you know, that starts to come out. If it's really weak in the first initial sales of what's going on Black Fridays and whatever those special holiday sales stuff that happen, then that's good for rates for the retailers, but good for rates, right? And then they'll start loosening up. But if it is strong, then it's going to hold up until after that holiday season, and then it will start to drop. But there are 2 strong reports out showing that interest rates should be in the 4s or 5s for 23, 24, and into 25. Right. I actually was sorry, that's why I was a little late. I was pretty excited. I was hoping I was going to have my presentation put together. I will have that. I'll share that with Johnny and we'll figure out how we can do that. But I do have some great data to show where sales are expected to be. Unfortunately, they are going to be dropping off as they have been. And where they are projected. We're kind of at the bottom of the trough right now. So take a deep breath. We're here. It looks better going forward. And a whole bunch of other data that will be good for you to know as well as to share with your clients.
So I know we cut Rodney short this week. We got a lot on the docket, but if you want to connect with him one-on-one, what's the best phone number?
Yeah, 916-223-2775. Call me or text me and I'm happy to help out and help you win that deal.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rodney.
You bet.
All right. So let me share the screen. Talking about Jordan failing. What you are going to need to do is who's heard about the 90-day rule? Raise your hand if you've heard about the 90-day rule in real estate. All right, I see a couple of people.
Oh.
What you're doing today in real estate is going to dictate what you're getting paid in 90 days. So if you're feeling the squeeze now, you need to actually start so for example, Valerie, I can speak to our business, right? We saw the rates tank. We lost 7 escrows, not 7 deals. We lost 7 escrows. Never happens to us. We maybe have lost like 3 in our business. We lost 7 in 1 month in May. And so, but now our business has picked back up because we've been prospecting, because we've been door knocking, because we've been doing the open houses, because we've been doing the activities. And then we had a good September and we're having a good October, right? But if we hadn't done those, if you are one of those agents that hasn't started doing those things, don't let that beat you down. Don't worry about missing a shot. Don't worry about missing your 90 days. Start now. Best time to plant a tree is yesterday. Second best time to plant trees right now. So show up to the business planning clinic and get a plan in place and implement that plan as quickly as possible. That's coming up November 17th. It sounds like it's far away, but it's really not. November's next week, guys.
No.
So PCAR. We got that coming up. If you are earning less than 6 figures as a real estate agent, this is a meeting for you, a training for you. I'm hosting it. It's how you can earn over $100,000 a year as a real estate agent with very little money, very little out-of-pocket expenses. All it takes is some time and some consistent work. If you don't want to work, don't register, but you should probably be in a different industry, right? But 6-figure realtor, you can find that on Eventbrite. And then last and certainly not least, next week, we're having a market update, and it's going to be led by none other than rock star appraiser himself, Ryan Lundquist. I hope you heard that, Ryan. They're all excited. But he's going to be present in person, in the flesh. So if you want to get your forehead signed or something signed by the rock star himself, you can.
He's also my dental twin, which is.
I have no idea.
Really?
Fun fact.
And another thing at SAR, when you have to go see Ryan, they pay $25 whenever he speaks. Yeah.
Yeah, he isn't cheap.
They do.
Yeah, he isn't cheap. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe Cindy will be collecting $5 at the door, right?
Right?
So, but anyways, Ryan Lundquist is next week, so you don't want to miss that. That's all the announcements I had for today. So let's get to our first speaker, Mr. Paul Frank. Please welcome to the front of the stage, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and just introduce yourself. And
that's bright.
I'll close it down for you.
Oh, you.
He's got a plan and a system.
Very scientist.
Okay, I'll start. Yeah, my name's Paul Frank. I am the president CEO of PDF Group of Companies. I've been a developer and commercial broker for 37 years. Over my career, I've developed millions of square feet and brokered millions of square feet of real estate, covering virtually every product type, both nationally and internationally. I say that my background goes back 37 years, but actually goes far beyond that. I was born at South Lake Tahoe. My dad was a dealer and a pit boss, and my mom was a cocktail waitress. My dad figured out early on that the gambling industry wasn't a good place to raise a family, so he started dabbling in real estate. So I was blessed to have a father that dressed me up in a little suit and tie and took me everywhere with him from an absurdly young age. Unfortunately, it was during some very difficult economic times that I got to spend time with my dad. I remember him dealing with 18, 19, 20% interest rate loans, which is compared to 7 and whatever. I remember the mental and physical toll that it took on him, and it was substantial. So fortunately, I had a dad that dressed me up in a little suit and tie and took me around during some really bad times, and it proved to give me a perspective and set of tools that a lot of people don't have these days. In fact, I attribute my survival in this business to something that my dad told me when I was 7 years old, leaving a meeting on the south side of Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. Had he not said that, I probably wouldn't be here right now. So I am here to talk to you about expanding your business through commercial real estate. And I gave you my background as a setup for this question. In my half-century exposure to commercial real estate, what does nearly every person I have ever dealt with have in common? And you can't answer that question a couple of years ago. Anybody have any ideas?
Don't work with.
That's never thought of that one. They all live in a house. And I say almost because there's 2 guys that I know that live on really big boats. But virtually everybody I have ever dealt with or been exposed to in commercial real estate lives in a house. So by virtue of that commonality, what else do they have in common? They all have had, or will have a relationship with a residential realtor, one of you. Every single one of them. The problem is most residential realtors have blinders on. They're looking for the 5-bedroom, 4-bath house in Granite Bay. And they never use peripheral vision on the deals. It's like they're looking down a rifle scope at that target and nothing else ever matters. So that is our goal, is to try to get you guys to take your blinders off as it relates to your client base. Now, the salt on the wound is this. The global CBRE, Colliers, Cushman, they literally have rooms full of young men and women fresh out of college making cold calls 8 hours a day, cutting their teeth in the business, trying to figure out who has it in them to stay in this business. They are truly cold calls. Hey, this is Steve from Colliers International. I'm calling on your retail complex on East Bidwell. Do you have any interest in selling? Guess who they're calling? They're calling your clients, and you don't even know it because you have the blinders on. So before I tell you what I think you should and shouldn't do, set this up. Number one, don't be intimidated by commercial real estate. Commercial real estate is not more difficult, it is just different. There's also enormous egos in commercial real estate for some reason. As we all know, egos are usually there to mask insecurities, and I guarantee you, commercial real estate is no different. So do not be intimidated by it. In fact, I promise you that every one of you would be better off sourcing, controlling, and closing a commercial transaction than I would be trying to do a house. All the disclosures and MLS rules, it scares the hell out of me. We don't do that stuff at all. So do not be intimidated by commercial real estate. So before I tell you what I think you should do, I'm going to tell you what you shouldn't do. And this is based on decades of examples and running into this happening to people. And there's several reasons, but number one is that the opportunities that you get will come from your residential relationships. And the minute you start chasing this shiny new penny, you will be distracted, and there will be opportunity costs associated with that distraction. Sometimes they're devastating. The second reason kind of compounds the first, and that's the tools that we use in commercial real estate. We have never had an MLS system in commercial real estate. Even back in the 70s and 80s, you guys had the little book and the bus tours, and everybody collaborated and exposed their listings to everybody. Commercial real estate, it was the epitome of the good old boy network. If you had an office user in San Francisco, you needed to know who to call and hope that that person would call you back for you to be able to even engage in commercial real estate. So along came the internet, and then we got LoopNet, which became sort of our MLS, and then CoStar, which, how many of you have heard CoStar and LoopNet before? Beautiful. How many have heard of CoStar? How many LoopNet? Interesting. Okay. So fast forward to today. CoStar bought LoopNet. LoopNet, and this is imperative for you to understand, write this down. LoopNet is the public-facing marketing arm of CoStar. We paid thousands of dollars a month for our CoStar subscription. That's our MLS. It's unlimited national and international research and listings. We put everything on it. We pay like $2,500 a month for a block of listings in LoopNet that we cycle through. That's what everybody does because you can't put everything on LoopNet. It's financially, it doesn't make sense. So how that applies to you is this, and I could replace the names 100 times over. Tammy gets a call from Lisa, one of her great clients, sold a bunch of houses to her. And she wants a 40,000 foot warehouse for her plumbing business. She's been leasing for 10 years and she wants to buy. So Tammy's so excited, she clears her calendar, says no problem. She cancels a showing. She is distracted and is setting aside her residential business to fulfill this opportunity. So she jumps on the internet, she finds LoopNet, she figures out how to navigate it. She does a search, she finds 4 properties in the entire Sac Metro that fits the need for a 40,000 foot warehouse. Packages it up, sends it off to Tammy. She opens it, or Lisa, she opens it up, she looks at it, she prints it out, she decides to leave early to go show it to her husband. As she's driving out right down the road, she sees a CBRE sign with Mike Luca's name on it. And she thinks to herself, that looks like exactly what I want. So she calls up Mike and she finds out not only is it exactly what she wants right down the street, but it's substantially less than the 4 options that Tammy gave her. So she pulls over and she texts Tammy and says, hey, why didn't you show me this address? It's exactly what I want. So Tammy now clears the rest of her schedule and she's ready to vomit because she's like, what the hell happened? She can't find the property anywhere. And she's thinking, how can Mike Luca not have this property exposed? Well, he does. It's on CoStar. He just doesn't have it on LoopNet. And you don't know what CoStar is, and you haven't spent $6,000 to get on CoStar, so you don't know about it. So what you have just done in better part of the day is damaged your reputation and your relationship with a long-term client. And you've not only damaged it as it relates to commercial real estate, because now Lisa's thinking, well, if Tammy can't even find this property right down the street, how can I trust her with my next residential opportunity? Or better yet, how can I refer? And the damage that I've seen that occurs in a matter of a day with relationships is phenomenal. So with that said, what you do want to do, and again, some of you will listen, some of you won't, but this is through many, many, many examples. First of all, you want to get a baseline understanding of commercial. That's optional. You don't have to do it, but it's advised. You don't need a bunch of initials next to your name or take a bunch of classes. Joey and I have a 6-part class on ATTN that we do that gives you just the base knowledge that you need to kind of navigate confidently. Number 2 is you need to take the blinders off as it relates to your network and your clients. Start asking what they do for a living, where they do it, how long they've done it. Do a title search, see what other properties that they own. Do a SOS search, see if they're involved in other entities that might own property. Many of you probably have VAs that you could dedicate to that, to mine your CRM and see what's in there. I guarantee you, everybody's got somebody engaged in commercial real estate and you don't know it because you've never asked before. Third thing you're going to do is get a referral partner or a team. And the reason that I say team is that if you go to the globals, CBRE, Cushman Colliers, you're going to need a team because they pigeonhole their agents into property type, geography, deal structure. So if you have a multifamily opportunity, you're going to need one referral partner. If you have an industrial leasing, you're going to need somebody else. I advocate for independent brokerages, or better yet, if you're in EXP, Rose, or we have a number of really good commercial agents that can handle any kind of commercial transaction. So now you have your referral partner, you've taken your blinders off and you're starting to look around. Third job you have is develop your scripts. And those are going to be the non-threatening, non-obsequious questions that you ask your clients as you figure out what they may or may not have. So for instance, if you, through your research, you find out Steve has 4 multifamily properties, next time you meet with him, you say, hey, Steve, my commercial team and I were just meeting on some of our multifamily transactions, and I thought of you. Next time you need some help, I'd love to help you with that or any other commercial transaction that you have. You've just removed his blinders, and now he's looking at you as an option for his commercial transactions, and he's never thought about it before. Good. So the last 2 steps are kind of at the same time. It is going to, well, actually, let me back up. Important part of finding your referral partner. Team speak is really important because it is your relationship that you're delivering to that referral partner. Nobody likes just being handed off. So I always use us and we, and I advocate for people to stay on the deal in the communication. That way, you know your client is being taken care of, and you're picking up knowledge and flow of a commercial transaction. You don't have to comment or opine or do anything. You're just along for the ride on the bus as part of the team. So the last part is that you work with your referral partner as you find these opportunities. You're going to assess the best way to then deploy those scripts on those clients, as I just explained. And through that, I guarantee you that you will uncover significant opportunities in the commercial world. So real quick, there's another talk that I do that kind of brings this all together, mostly for sports and sports coaching, but also business. And it's the 3 Ps. And that is perspective, preparation, and a proactive mindset. The preparation aspect is educating yourself on the on patterns and stuff in the market, because as some smart guy once said, if we don't learn from history, we're doomed to repeat it. So take the time to educate yourself, no matter what venue of competition you're in. The second part is preparation. In this example, the preparation is going to be do the research on your clients, get a referral partner, and build your scripts. That way, as my buddy ET says, you can take advantage of the opportunity during the lifespan of the opportunity. That opens the door for a proactive mindset. So as soon as the opportunity comes, you know exactly what you're going to do with it. So the reactive mindset in this world is that you get that opportunity, and then all of a sudden you're running around trying to figure out what to do with it. Ultimately, you end up calling somebody like me, and usually the opportunity is gone. It's ceased to exist anymore, and you've burnt it. The sports analogy, which I like because it's much more clear, is you have a quarterback in a reactive mindset. He steps up under center, he gets the ball, he steps back, and now he's going, oh crap, who's open? What am I going to do? That is a recipe for failure. Versus a proactive mindset where you have perspective, preparation, steps under center, he's looking out, he knows exactly what defensive set is in front of him. He knows the personnel, he knows their tendencies. Some of them know their kids' names and their favorite colors. So before that ball hits his hand, he knows exactly what he's going to do with it, which is your job in this venue. So my hope is that some of you will take the time to develop those tools, because you will absolutely expand your business, especially in these challenging times, through commercial real estate, which, going into our 6-part class, the commercial real estate financing aspect of it is a deal generator for us, as opposed to the residential world where people are able to just hunker down. Commercial financing actually generates deals out of necessity. So thank you, and I hope you take some of those words to heart.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your phone number?
916-240-4012.
I also want to tell you guys, so that one I just closed for 1.2 million. I met that client because they wanted to open a laundromat in South San Francisco, South San Francisco, they're doing these fancy laundromats where they put bars in it. And I've actually closed, that's my second $1.2 million for him in 10 months.
There you go.
All came from commercial, and my friend and I have one, we're working on a great commercial one. We have no intention of ever actually listing it, but we're building it up to pass it off to somebody else.
What's your name?
Paul Frank. I'm sorry.
I have a question.
Yes.
I've heard a few different things. What's the average that you should expect for a referral from a commercial deal? Because I've heard that it's different than residential. Residential, there's kind of a standard. Commercial, some commercial agents are like,
Yeah, so a lot, going back to the ego component, a lot of them won't even return your phone calls, right? I mean, it's pretty ugly. They don't like doing referrals. The brokerages don't like doing referrals. The head of EXP, well, Dr. Bill, he advocates for a much lower percentage, and I try to hit 25% as consistently as possible as a referral fee. The problem is, if you have a 1,200 square foot nail shop for a 3-year lease, it's not going to pay for the gas and time dealing with it. But if it's a $8 million deal, so I try to do just a 25 flat.
But if you were to build a team where you were looking at someone other than you, it is quite common in commercial real estate to have referrals that are less than 25% then, right?
Yeah. I think 2025 is
number
240-4012. And then my email address, if you want to write it down, is right there. But yeah, and I've had some people that want 50, and it's just there's
no commercial is so expensive to
yeah.
I have dabbled, unfortunately, a little bit, so I understand the work and the money. I would never, that'd be so wrong. Yeah, no.
And unlike other commercial people, we return phone calls and emails, so And again, Rose is coming on our team on the commercial side, and she's an excellent source too. Yes, sir.
You mentioned your class. Is that a live class or is it online, or what were the dates? How do we? If you give me your card.
Yeah, it's through Joey's ATTN. The next one coming up is in November, and it's on cap rates, which is basically what makes commercial real estate function.
In taking that class as a residential realtor though, because like EXP, I feel like every time I talk to them, it changes. So it was the commercial side that allowed you to do X amount of residential a year and then vice versa. But if you're doing commercial as a residential realtor, you can only do it if it's attached to a property. And then someone just did that and then they were told, no, you can't do it at all. So what, do you know what the current, like, as a residential realtor, are you still allowed to sell a couple a year that are on real property or just no?
So we're on a national committee trying to get some consistency there. It comes down to the state broker to a large degree. Some states like Hawaii won't let you touch a commercial transaction. Others have like a 5-a-year deal, and some states have people engaging in commercial real estate, and then other people they say no to. So I can't answer that, but it's something that we're working on gaining some consistency to. Ultimately, it comes down to Debbie and what she's
that's the thing, is like I got told yes, and then my business partner got told no.
But she also didn't get paid, so they were holding her check because they told her once they closed escrow, oh, you're a residential agent, you can't be doing these commercial deals through XP, and they held her check. What?
Yeah, that's why
It also depends on what type of the deal too.
Yes.
Right.
It was attached to real property. It should have been, and it shouldn't have been an issue. It was because it was, but there again, it might also be, I might have kind of slid because I've been working on it well. I kind of got to bend a lot of rules, which if you just buy Debbie Penny some really nice red wine, she'll probably say yes.
There you go.
So what I would do is I would hop on the world and get some questions on there, ask Debbie, and be proactive in your approach rather than reactive. If you want to get paid, it's your responsibility to figure that out before the deal freaking closes. Okay? So hop in the world and take some ownership on that. We are running short on time. So we have Margo. Everybody, round of applause for Paul Frank. Hold on, take this paper off. And then Miss Margo is going to be speaking. Oh man, there's a lot of people online. I'm going to make you co-host. I'm going to pin you. And there we go. Margo, you there? All right, well, Margo's logging on. Who here knows in depth that there has been changes made to EXP Healthcare in the last few months? Like who here is it, right? Who people have been experiencing, right? So Margo is the gal that's going to answer all those questions. She knows that there's been issues. I prepped her, I said, hey, these people are fired up. Just want to let you know. And she said, hey, I totally get it. I can set the record straight. I have solutions. Margo, so good to see you.
Hey, good to see you guys. Sorry. I love my electric desk, and for some reason it unplugs my ring light whenever I go up or down. I don't know why that is. Why are those two things related? Who knows? But I am glad to see you guys. And I know there've been a lot of confusing messages, and I'm here to bring as many answers as I can for you guys. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have a little slide deck to show you some resources. You see, there it goes again. Okay. Let's see. And I'm going to do a screen share so that I can show it to you guys. All right. There we go. Oh, got a full room there. How's everybody today?
Doing good.
Good.
Thank you for helping on, by the way.
Oh, it is my pleasure. Thanks for your patience. Okay, there we go. All right. I have two screens clearly, as you can see me looking all over the place. All right. So update on the plans. Let's see if I can get a better view of that. Let's do. It's just a black screen. Well, that won't do. Am I still with you guys?
You're here. Yeah, we see you.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's start with this. Who's who, what's what. Since November of 2019, Clearwater Benefits out of Austin, Texas, which is where I am hailing from at the moment. We're still running our air conditioning out here. My daughter in Colorado has got snow on the mountains. So here we go. But we have been partnered with EXP to deliver healthcare. Since November of 2019, we remain the partner of record, delivering all kinds of healthcare options to EXP agents across the country. So that has not changed. There were some emails from one of our carriers that said differently, but that has not changed. So I want to start with the big picture. We are still here, still serving you guys. And just like EXP, we continue to innovate and research and look for new ways to bring more value to you guys. And that said, being focused on bringing more and more value to you, we want to find plans that have lower costs and higher value and benefits. And we found some. And when we do, we take a look at, we vet it. We want to examine what's the best way to bring that to market if it makes sense for you guys. And we found some new ones, 2 sets, as a matter of fact, that are really strong and take all the things that were good about the plans that we were making available to you all through Planston Zion, but add some more benefits for the same or slightly lower cost. That's pretty phenomenal when you can bring that in the health insurance, healthcare space. Planston, the carrier who we were partnered with, agreed to a smooth transition as we moved our customers who wanted to this newer set of plan. However, they did not, in fact, hold up that end of their agreement, which is very unfortunate. I do not like having to talk about these things, bring up these things, or talk about them, or say anything other than positive about anybody. But I have to share with you that they have said, they have confused things, muddied the waters, and sent emails, messages, texts that are simply untrue, false, just not true. That is unfortunate. Nobody likes to be in that position, but they have chosen to take that path. We continue to try to take the high road and communicate clearly to you guys. And in a minute, what I'm going to do is show you who's who, what's what, how to find out what your particular situation is, and how to and access to resources, who to call, where to find info, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to give you all that here in just a minute as well. So we responded. When that happened, we were surprised, and we started doing a fair amount of damage control, in fact, and that's no fun. Nobody enjoys that at all. So we sped up our plan to communicate the new plans, our communications plan. And we started it about a month earlier than we were going to, and began onboarding new EXP agents directly to the new plans. And that has gone fine. The transition is the part that has been challenging because of the former partners' behavior and confusion. Unfortunately, this has meant that we've hired attorneys, so they are being, they don't have a leg to stand on. They're doing, it makes you scratch your head, the choices that they're making. But we are taking care of all of that, and we apologize on behalf of us and all of the people who continue to work on your behalf, that this has been a frustrating and confusing experience. But we've rounded the corner and things are getting better. So I want to show you what we're doing next. There we go. So let's focus now on who's who. So Clearwater is your,
Margo, it's still the first slide.
It is?
Yeah. We see your PowerPoint. You see that there's 3 slides. We're not in presenter view, if that's what you're seeing.
She may be on 2 screen. She's on 2 screen.
Now I can see. Oh.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to unplug the 2 screens. Let's just make that simplify that. Let's see. Okay. And now you see, do you see key names now?
We can, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Well, you're going to see all of that too. Okay, it doesn't matter. I want to get the information to you more than I want the slide format to be beautiful. So going back to who's who, Clearwater Benefits is your broker of record. So we are the EXP insurance and healthcare plan broker of record. That hasn't changed. We are still here. We have EXP agent healthcare. We have the agent group on Workplace. You can find me and several of my colleagues there. We are seeing a lot of questions on the EXP Agent Healthcare group. You might want to join that if you haven't already. That's a good place to see kind of a running conversation of answers. So that's a good place to go if you haven't already. Boomi is the new insurance company. If you see that name, it's not one you're going to recognize. You've probably never heard of it, but they are behind the scenes handling the it's the third party administrator, basically. ClearShare is the name of the new medical cost sharing plan that delivers more for less. So that's the name you'll be seeing. All of this is through, you're going to be communicating through us, which is great. We are very excited about that because we have for a while wanted to own more of the customer experience than we have. This gives us that opportunity to do that, which is fantastic. We've hired several new teams, done lots of training to put us in a position to be able to serve you guys the way we want to. Okay, Planston and Zion are our former partners, and some of you are still enrolled in their plans, and I'll explain a little bit about that in just a second. Planston was the insurance part of the plan and also the third-party administrator, meaning that's who handles billing and claims and all of that for your checkups. Zion is the name of the former medical cost sharing plan. They are sister companies, but two different organizations. All right, so the next thing I want to do is say, well, what does this mean to you guys? If you took no action, if you didn't do anything, then you're still, and you were enrolled in EXP Agent Healthcare before, then you're most likely still enrolled with Planston and Zion. And you will be talking directly with them about any claims or questions or what have you that you have about your plan. That said, if you no longer want to be on that plan and you would like to switch over, which is kind of a funny term considering we're still your broker of record, but it's part of this, the short-term confusion that we're wading through, then I can help you. I can show you what to do about that. So if you canceled Planston and you switched over to Boomi ClearShare through Clearwater, then you have stayed with EXP Agent Healthcare and with Clearwater, and we are providing the services and getting access to you for your plans and your customer service and your support and all of that. To access your plan information, if you are enrolled in the new plans, that is that you will use the Health Wallet. So on your phone, you can go to the App Store and look up the Health Wallet. And it is an app that you download, and it will have your information. It's like a portal through the app. And if you are enrolled in the new plans, you will have received an email from us with a specific link that will take you to the Health Wallet so that you can create a login. And if you are enrolled in the new plans and you haven't seen that email, it will have gone to the email that we had on record. So I know a lot of us have multiple emails. So if you provided your XP email, it would be that one. If you provided the oldest email you have that's AOL, it will be that one. And if you look through your emails and you still don't see it, certainly check spam and junk. Unfortunately, sometimes that's where it ends up. And if that doesn't work, then we will resend it. Okay, I've got one more slide, and then I'm gonna answer questions as best I can. So here's your options. If you're still enrolled with Planston, you can stay there. You do not have to move at all, but you will communicate directly with them, with Planston and Zion, and we no longer have a relationship with them because of the way that they handle this. If you are still enrolled in Planston and you'd like to move, here's what you can do. You can visit this link. Oops. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to copy this link and type it into the chat so that you guys can all see it. I know that y'all are on a group sitting around a table looking at one screen. And I know there's other people logged in, but it's EXP Agent Healthcare /plan-upgrade-landing-page.
I'll put it on the team page. Yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah. Who wants to write that down? Okay, so that is great. And what it'll do is take you to a page, you'll fill out some information. It'll give you the exact steps to follow. And it's a two-step process. So what you'll do is enroll in the plan that you want to be in with Clearwater. And they will, the page and our team will show you how to send an email and copy our team so that you can cancel your plan with Planston. So we recommend that you send it to their, it's got a specific email that is on that page as you go through that process, and then CC us, a plan help at exprealty.com. And that is going to help us manage that process for you. So that is how you follow that two-step process, and that can be effective. Well, we're already up at, can you believe it? It's almost November. So it will be effective. The soonest would be 11/1 if you're not already enrolled in these plans, but you can set it for any month. So the way you access any information about your plan once you're enrolled in the new plan is through the Health Wallet. And that has links so that you can search for providers. It has your digital cards. They will send you physical cards. I have a term for everything that doesn't go as smoothly as it used to post-COVID. And it's just, that's so COVID-y. That is my term, because like service and everything just takes longer. Well, the paper that those cards are printed on has been in a nationwide, worldwide shortage. Of course it has. That's so COVID-y. At any rate, the paper has come through and the physical cards have been sent out. So those happen usually within the first couple of weeks. But the digital ones work exactly the same, and they are in that app. If, like me, you have kids who are on the plan, but adults, I just take a screenshot of the cards, I send it to them and I say, save this to favorites on your phone. That's your card. So that works out well. And you can contact us about your plans if you're enrolled or you're not sure if you're enrolled at planhelp@exprealty.com. I'll highlight that and share it as well in the chat, and then you guys can copy that to the page as well. All right, I shared a lot of stuff. I probably answered some questions and not others. So at this point, I will be happy to take questions.
I got some questions for you, Margo.
Okay.
When compared to the previous plans, are you seeing an average savings, for people? And also, are you also seeing are people having to switch doctors with the new plans, or are they, or the common doctors, kind of sharing the ability to, now we're switching insurances. Does that make sense?
Right. I understand the question. It's the exact same network. So like so many businesses, parts of insurance plans are subbed out to companies that specialize in that. There are companies that specialize in putting together networks. Thank goodness that is not an ad hoc solution for every single plan, or it'd be more disastrous than it already can be. Same exact network. In fact, we've added a second network. So there's two to choose from, and that helps broaden the. Are y'all recording this? Yeah, okay. I wanted to make sure that we were recording it. So you now have access to a broader range of providers, because there's two networks, same one plus another one.
And then are you seeing an average savings at all that you can discuss with us?
Yes, so we are seeing an average savings of about $60 a month compared to what people have been paying on for the Planston Zion plans. Not only that, but there's some additional benefits as well. For example, there's a membership to Talkspace, which is a virtual provider of counseling, therapy, and actually some psychiatry that's handled through a membership. It comes with a membership for Talkspace, and that works pretty well. Do you get to bring the therapists you're already working with and use them through Talkspace? No. Can you choose therapists and counselors based on expertise and area and, you know, a number of different factors. Yes. And then what I like about the way this works is you also have access to those therapists by text within the app. So asynchronous communication, you don't have to wait until you have an appointment. You can get some help. You have access to them through text, which is great. There are some other benefits that are better. One is your out-of-pocket is going to be a lower amount. On Plants in Zion, you may remember you have you chose either 1,000, 2,500, or 5,000 as your amount that you pay per incident for a max of 3. You could have 5 incidences, but you wouldn't keep paying that amount. So if you were on the $5,000 plan, that could really start to add up. If you had a terrible year, you would be out $15,000. And on these new plans, if your max is 5,000, then that is your max out of pocket is 5,000. So it's the cost of one event, which is great. So we see that again, you still have the same choice, 1,000, 2,500, and 5,000, but your max out of pocket is limited to that number, which is great. Is it available to people on Medicare? No. Sorry about that. It is not. It is not. These plans are available for people up through the age of 64. You can include your kids up through the age of 26, as long as they're not married for some reason. Yeah. Other questions?
So when we joined over a year ago, we were able to keep Kaiser and they took it away with the new Clearwater. Can we get Kaiser back?
Good question. Don't know the answer to that one. Let me find out.
Okay.
Write that down.
Is that something we could get answers to at planhelp@exprealty.com as well? If we didn't have you on the phone here.
You could certainly start that, and if they can't answer it, then they would work on getting the answer. So yes.
Okay.
We had one point of contact who's been amazing. I used to go around to other teams and talk about the healthcare, how great it was. And so great recently. So to be quite honest, I've been a little frustrated. Where is Caleb? Did he stay with Plankton or did he go to Clearwater? Because he's amazing.
Oh, he's always been with Clearwater and he's still with Clearwater. He is amazing. Yes.
Okay, he has been so amazing. We have probably left 20 voicemails, emails, text messages. We are getting no response and it's very unlike him. We didn't know if he is no longer working with the company or he changed numbers. So how do we get a hold of Caleb? Because he is amazing.
I'm glad that you asked. He may have a new number. That does not sound like him. And while we did go through this giant bubble of everyone working long hours and long days, kind of August timeframe when this was really at its peak, we were all behind on communications. But everybody should be caught up by now. So I'm going to find out. And I feel like maybe in the past that was what happened. He got a new phone. His email still works though. So Caleb at clearwatersavings.com should work, but I'm also going to ask about it.
Let's go, Caleb.
It sounds like Caleb needs a raise.
Yeah.
Let's see if you got the messages.
Yeah, let's see, call me back first.
Yeah, right. Well, I have to say, I'm in the fortunate position to be able to say those same glowing things about all of our consultants. Each one of them has their own fan club, which is fantastic. So it's great. They're all really kind and empathetic. You don't see that every day. We have a lot of the same cultural collaboration. You don't have to lose for me to win kind of attitudes. So it's a great place to work.
Hey, Margo, just a shout out to you, by the way. Like, we reached out to you less than a week ago and you agreed to hop on this Zoom call with us at a time that worked for us. So thank you for being so flexible.
You are so welcome. We do our best. We do. We love working with you guys. And healthcare, whenever I ask people as I'm presenting, I'll say, well, use one word to describe what it's like to look for healthcare. And it's never once been fun, interesting, engaging, pleasurable, never once. So we know it's confusing, it's daunting, it's frustrating as a process. It's a really complex product. There's a lot of words in there. The words are words but they're used differently. And so most of us just go, okay, that's enough. I'm done. I can't handle it anymore. And we try to, our goal, we want to bridge the gap and help make that easier so you can be taken care of. You don't have to worry about this. Check it off your list, have peace of mind, and go live your life and build your business and don't worry about this. That's the goal.
Awesome. So for those of you who maybe have more personal questions or we don't have the time to cover today, plan help@exprealty.com. We all have that written down. I'll put it in the group on Facebook as well. And then EXP, well, that long URL will also be put in the Facebook group. Is this good? Was this what you guys wanted?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
What you wanted?
Perfect.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And you can track me down on Workplace as well. You can find me there. I actually possess fewer of the answers in detail than my team, but I know how to get a hold of them. But going direct to Plan Help really is going to be quicker. That's where I'm going to go. But if there's anything else I can do for you, or if you'd like me to help come talk to your teams or a group of people you're looking to attract, I'm available as a resource to help you with that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Margo. One more round of applause for Margo.
Thank you. A round of applause for you guys.
Hey,
All right.
Recording as soon as it's available.
I'd love that because I would love to share what we covered with a few other groups. That would be great.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Take care. The big man himself.
You're on the big screen, Brent.
Oh man, what's going on, everybody? Good to see you. Hello from the jungles of Puerto Rico. Good to see you guys. And man, I'm excited. I have another Zoom starting in 1 minute, but I love healthcare. Isn't that awesome? Exciting message today. But hey, if you can save some money and get better coverage for your family, that is a worthwhile thing. Real quick, I want to invite everybody every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific. I do a 30-minute kind of a mindset shot in the arm, kick butt and take names. I just started doing it a few months back, but it's called Zoom with Brent.live. It's every Tuesday. If you want a shot in the arm, it's with me for 30 minutes. If you only got 10 minutes, jump on for 10 minutes and you'll be like chewing on the steering wheel. Arr. So it's every Tuesday, 1:30 to 2. It is focused pretty much on agent attraction. I'm going to start another one. I've decided maybe on Thursdays or Wednesdays for 30 minutes where I go purely sales, like become a sales champion. And then I'll have guest speakers on there with me. I might be a little rusty, but trust me, the old man still has it. So don't, Cindy, as he's smiling, not write me off. I have not taken a buyer out in 4.5 years or gone on a listing appointment, but I remember how to do it. So I'm going to give you some crazy stuff and then have amazing speakers like Joey Satriano and Cindy and different ones of you in the room as you're on fire. Chime in. Rodney, what's going on in the back there? My favorite lender. Rodney, if you haven't had coffee with Rodney, take him to lunch and give him purchase loans and referral loans. We love Rodney. Drew, great to see you. John, thank you for doing this. But plug in this Tuesday. Everyone tried. If you've never done it, I want you to plug in this Tuesday. I'll be coming live from Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm attending a mastermind with Dean Graciosi, Gary Brecka, Randy Yard, a bunch of Tony Robbins people, 10X people. I'm only with 40 people in a small room. They're all flying in their private jets. I'm coming in on Southwest, okay? I'm flying in American Airlines first class, but here's the deal. This room, the way they think, and I'm gonna explode. I'm gonna go absolutely freaking nuts. So if you want a shot in the arm, a multivitamin, a pep in your step, everybody put in your calendar right now because you're going to forget. And you're going to go, what Zoom link did he say? Because that's what I do. I had to look up my own. Every time I come here, I'm like, what's it called? Gove team meeting Zoom. What the heck? I put it in my calendar on repeat. So it's Zoom with Brent.live every Tuesday, 1:30 to 2 p.m. Pacific. And I love you guys. Have a great day. Go be amazing. Go help the world buy and sell real estate. Love you guys. Have a good day. Back to you, John. Bye, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks, Brent. All right, everybody. So this was a good meeting. We got some EXP healthcare stuff, and we now all have a lender partners when you're out, or a commercial partner. So when you're out working with people or talking with your sphere, working with your buyers, and the conversation turns to commercial, let me connect you with my partner. That's all he does. He's absolutely fantastic commercial real estate. Doesn't cost a thing. It's a good way to add money to your business. That's good. You guys like it? All right. See you next Thursday for Ride Lunches. Bye online. Thanks for showing up.